The Hurt Business is finally back, that's great and all, but whatever. Why are we not talking about this? Why are we not talking about this? I mean, to each their own, but that's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. What happened to just a picture of a flower, a picture of a city, some nature, primo, regular stuff?
I'm a father because Gage Goldberg is my son.
Welcome back to the channel, my community of the largest Kokojumbos, largest Peniseviches in YouTube history. Now, I do think this Raw was somewhat entertaining. Yes, most of the matches were rematches, but you know, at least I'm still thinking about the picture, man. I don't really want to complain that much because that was the last time we seen Monday Night Raw with that roster. So at the end of the day, that episode of Monday Night Raw was basically a closure. Now we're gonna see rematches, but with different people. Now this episode of Rematches Always Work actually opened up in a very big way. A WWE Championship match between Big E and Bobby Lashley. Whatever, one of these guys is probably going to a different brand. I didn't mind it. It's a WWE Championship match. Whatever, I don't mind seeing two big men with titties bigger than my head having a fight. The match wasn't bad. These two clearly have chemistry, and this was another closure. I really think that one of these guys, probably Bobby Lashley, is going to SmackDown. I mean, how could it be any other way? We desperately need fresh rivalries, and by not, drafting one of these guys to a different brand, we would barely get anything new. We got a bit of a surprise during this match. We see the Hurt Business, or Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, were actually not a part of the Hurt Business anymore. Now, many people said these guys were buried after they split up, but I don't get why people are complaining so much. These guys were literally in the main event every week. A show on the WWE Network. They were rocking the Hurt Business t-shirts, and the message was clear: the Hurt Business is back. So they distracted Big E. Lashley slams Big E into the mat. We see a spear, but then we see the New Day, and this match ends in no contest. And I gotta admit, it was actually really fun to watch these two factions brawling. It's kind of a shame it's not gonna be a long-term thing, probably. But then we see the man who grew a pair of balls, Adam Pearce, and the man was screaming, the man is all business. Stop, it's not gonna end this way. Stop right now. Steel cage match in the main event of Raw. Bobby Lashley versus Big E for the WWE Championship. And the man wasn't joking around, he was serious. My man Adam Pearce with these big ass balls. Dude gave us some really big cojones energy. I'ma start calling him right now Adam Big Balls Pearce. I mean, his balls were popping. I like that energy. I miss an authority figure who knows how to handle business. It's not like I'm complaining right now, just something I've noticed. Speaking of Raw always having rematches, not only are you getting a rematch, you're getting the same rematch 2 times a night. Now that's impressive. Then we saw Eric versus Angel Garza. I love this tag team. I think I would really fit in this tag team. I could be that loser cousin who's here just because we're family. So like I've said, I absolutely love this tag team, and this match was just to build Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Of course, we saw a distraction from Carrillo, and Angel Garza won the match. I mean, both guys are really talented, but Humberto always lacked character, and this is exactly what he needed. And then we saw the 24/7 Championship, Ricochet versus Reggie. Yeah, I know people are going to complain that Ricochet is buried now. Open your eyes, folks. He was buried a long ass time ago, first of all. And I think it was necessarily just to bury the guy. This was just to have a match between Ricochet and Reginald, two of the most athletic WWE superstars right now who can do a lot of flips. That was the point. Sure, you wouldn't see Drew McIntyre and basically anyone who's getting a push in a 24/7 championship segment, but let's be honest right here, it's not like Ricochet wasn't buried before this match. So that's exactly what we got during this match. A bunch of flips just to show off how flippy these two guys are. Of course, we saw all the 24/7 championship enthusiasts watching the match. We saw an interference by R-Truth. Drake calls for Tozawa, but of course, Reginald runs away. Yeah, a 24/7 championship segment. Whatever. Although I gotta say, I do like how serious Drake Maverick is about all of this. Riddle says Orton needed some time off, but I'm always gonna be with Randy because I'm listening to his music. And I just wanna show Randy Orton what I can do or whatever, and he's looking at the sky, ceiling, and yeah, Randy's not dead. But I think he's talking about the fact, or he's showing us, that Randy is high. So we see Akira Tozawa in the ring and he says, I want to face R-Truth, Gulak, Maverick, whatever, anyone. And we see Keith Bearcat Lee. Okay, I complain about this gimmick. I'm fine with it right now. Obviously, I've just found out that it's a tribute to a wrestler, so that's okay. I can't complain about that. I like his attitude. Now the question is, was it necessary? Obviously not. I would prefer a heel turn. This just came out of nowhere for no reason. It wasn't needed. It wasn't necessary. But that's Raw. They changed things for whatever reason. And I guess I'm okay with it. At least the guy is getting a push. Whether it's necessary or not, at least the guy is getting TV time. So he basically destroys Akira Tozawa. A different style right here. You know, we all knew Keith Lee as this big dude who's basically not afraid to do some athletic stuff. But you probably heard that Vince McMahon wants him to be a monster, and that's exactly what we saw during this match. A powerhouse Keith Lee, and obviously he wins the match with a new finisher, I assume, which, I'm gonna be honest, I actually like this finisher more. So it's usual for us to complain about WWE's changes. Sometimes it's not as bad as we think and we just gotta give it time. Okay, we basically saw an Extreme Rules match for the United States Championship between Sheamus and Damian Priest. At Extreme Rules, we only had one Extreme Rules match. But they had another one on Raw. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's not like I'm complaining about getting a good match. That was a great match, actually, the match of the night. But you just had Extreme Rules, and you could have done that during a pay-per-view that is literally called Extreme Rules. Whatever, the match was great. Every time we see Sheamus in some kind of a no disqualification match, it looks really brutal. I mean, the man is really white, really bright, and you can see all the scars. It's also interesting that we saw more extreme spots during this match than during Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor at Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but I mean, again, maybe it's nitpicking. At the end of the day, we just saw a great Extreme Rules or no disqualification, or, well, it's basically the same thing match. And of course, Damian Priest retained the championship. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, but Damian Priest, in my honest opinion, is a really interesting United States champion. And that's exactly what kind of a champion this title needed. We saw Jawhari Mansour and Mustafa Ali versus Jinder Mahal, Veer and Shanky. Stop! Stop, goddammit! Don't ever do this again! At the end of this match, Mustafa Ali is looking for a tag, but there's no one, and of course, that's how Veer, Jinder, and Shanky won the match. 3 hours of Raw, I guess. So Karrion Kross versus Jackson Ryker. Dude, was I dreaming or this man got released? Did someone fake a post on Twitter? Or he actually got released like a couple of weeks ago? You know what happened. Karrion Kross won the match. So Riddle versus AJ Styles, another rematch on Raw. Wasn't a bad match, can't complain. The finish was actually really good. AJ drops Riddle on his head, for better or worse, and then we saw a Styles clash. It happened really quickly, but it had a lot of impact. Hopefully that was another closure, and one of these guys is going to SmackDown. We saw an open challenge for Raw Women's title, Doudrop versus Charlotte Flair before the match. Doudrop said, if I'm going to win this championship, I'm going to do this dance because Deville asked. No. Don't win the championship. Don't do the dance, please. During this match, we saw Eva Marie interfering and Charlotte Flair wins the match, but Charlotte attacks Eva as well. After the match, Eva says, if I accepted the challenge, I would have won. She can beat any women in the locker room, and we see Shayna Baszler. We already saw that with Akira Tozawa and Keith Bearcat Lee. And of course, she beats the crap out of Eva Marie, breaks her arm. That was the best Eva Marie performance, I gotta say. Finally, Shayna Baszler looks like she used to look in NXT. Finally, Goldberg talks about how, you hurt my son. You hurt my son, Bobby. And now, I'm gonna hurt you, Bobby. Bobby, do you listen? He's my son. Gage. Goldberg is my son. And I'm gonna beat you, Bobby. You disrespect legends. And my son. We both have sons. Both dads, Bobby. We're both dads, Bobby. I'm a better dad, Bobby. I don't care about the title. I'm gonna hurt you, Bobby. It's a picture of me and my son, Bobby. I love this picture, Bobby. And then my man drops, I'm gonna hurt you, Bobby. Hell, if I'm lucky, I might even kill you. Oh. Well, that's not PG. Well, at least it's not for the championship. Now that makes me believe Goldberg is going to win against Bobby Lashley, and Bobby can't afford another loss. Well, it is what it is. And we see the WWE title match, Bobby Lashley versus Big E. Before the match, Bobby attacks Big E. We see them brawling outside of the ring. After the commercial, they're back in the ring, and it was a great fight. It was a pretty nice steel cage match for a main event of Monday Night Raw. So, at the end of the day, instead of a regular 6-man tag, we just got a steel cage match on Raw. And as I said before, I don't really have high expectations for Raw, so at least we saw a decent match for closure. We saw the Hurt Business trying to help Bobby to win the match, but the New Day interferes, and we saw some pretty nice looking spots. Now during this match, a spear couldn't do it, a big ending couldn't do it, but the one move that did was the big ending, or big end. Is it big ending or big end? Of the second rope, and Big E retains the WWE Championship. He's celebrating, but then we hear no, not Ricochet. I'm talking about sword sound effects. The message is clear. Drew McIntyre is coming for that WWE Championship. Actually, a rivalry I thought we're gonna get first after Big E is done with Bobby Lashley, because Drew McIntyre, now can challenge for the WWE Championship, and obviously, well, you can have that match with two babyfaces, but if this rivalry is going to, last for at least 3 months, one of them is going to turn heel, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Drew McIntyre. I guess that's cool. Not sure if I want to see that. The man is really likable, but let's be honest, he does need some character change, and maybe it's gonna be for the better. So that was your Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre is probably not gonna be drafted to SmackDown, which is kind of a shame. I actually wanted to see him against Roman Reigns in a big rivalry. It is what it is. It might not even happen. We don't know. Maybe both of these guys are going to get drafted to SmackDown, and Roman Reigns is going to be drafted to Monday Night Raw, which would be a great idea because Raw desperately needs Reigns. So that was your Raw. Thank you for watching this video. Can't wait for the draft. I desperately want some change. Talk about different rematches. Really excited about that. And as always, the great one, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.